Okay. What's going on, guys, girls? A little bit after 12 here. A little after noon. It's 12:22 here on the East Coast. It's currently 41 degrees here, so it's very, let's say balmy. Let's go balmy with it. And two road teams win yesterday. Not the biggest of surprises for me. Um, Before that first game started, I told Keith, I said, Keith, let me tell you now. I think the Bengals are going to win this game, and I did. I thought the Bengals would win. Um, the 49ers, what's up, Sean? The 49ers gave us no reason to think they were going to win. Their defense kept them in it. Their defense and special teams. That's it. That's it. Now, Rodgers is already coming out saying, he's going to be looking at his options. He's out of there. He's out of there. You think about it. They were fully loaded last night with their receivers, with their running backs. I think they had one running back out. That's it. But their receivers, they were loaded. They couldn't do nothing. They couldn't get out of each other's way last night, and he couldn't get the ball to them. He's getting older. That cold weather is getting to him, and I think he's gone. I really think he'll leave. Where do you think he goes? AFC. The three natural places we would think of that he could go would be Pittsburgh, Vegas, and Denver. Now, they've got to work through salary cap issues at Pittsburgh if they do it, because Big Ben is just leaving. And I think Ben will not be back. If Ben's back, there's no chance they could bring Rodgers. Carr, we will get hints as to where he's going, and I'll tell you why. They would have to release players or trade players. I'll be happy to have him in Pittsburgh. What's up, Arnold? Yeah, and if you'd like to come on with me, Arnold, all you got to do is say yeah, and I will invite you on. I've got a bunch of invitations out there. The thing about Pittsburgh is this. They're still in quite a rebuild mode. I mean, their offense is not where they want it to be right now. Now, could he come in there and be like, okay, let's shine this bad boy up. Let's bring one more receiver in with us. And then, look, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. They won't send him to Tampa. Even if Rodgers wants to go, it's going to have to be a place that both places are happy with. I just don't see him going anywhere other than the AFC. I really don't. Now, the Bengals yesterday, what did they do to stop the Titans? They stopped Tannehill. They didn't have to stop their big back. Their big back was not able to run the ball but 20 times for 62 yards. He was not healthy. This is the Bengals coach deserves coaching. And he coached well, but let me also tell you, Titans messed up big time. They had a week off. They had 2 weeks. And all we've heard about from the Titans is they're bringing that running back back. And everybody, all the other players were like, yes, rather than preparing for the game. We're getting our big back. We can't lose. We can't lose. And he's not fully healthy. That's what happens. That's what happens. It's a shame, but that's what happens to you when you're not fully healthy, and everything is based on you. They didn't talk about Tannehill. They didn't talk about their receivers. They didn't even talk about their offensive line. All they talked about was Derrick Henry for 2 weeks, and that's what they got. And I think in the third and fourth quarter, they were like, okay, where are you at, Derrick? And he just didn't have it. Thus, the Bengals came out, played a good game. Now, look, don't get me wrong. The Bengals cannot afford to let this guy get sacked 9 times every game. He's not going to live through it. He's not going to make it. You're going to be visiting him at the hospital, and it's not good. And you're going up against the Chiefs or the Bills in Buffalo or in Kansas City. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be very, very tough to keep Burrow upright with that. Their offensive line may be the worst in football. They may be the worst in football. I think they're worse than Jacksonville. I think they're worse than the Jets. I really do. I think they're the worst offensive line in football. They're going to have to do something. And I don't know what that is. I don't know whether they can bring somebody up this week. I don't know. But with what they had yesterday, they're not going to win next week. I just don't think so. Now let's go to the other game. 49ers and Packers. I picked the Niners to win this game outright. Only thing I missed was the over-under. I mean, I went over with this, and I mean, it was just it was terrible. 47 was the over-under, and they only scored 23 points. The Packers couldn't get out of their way yesterday. Aaron Rodgers, every time he moved, the 49er was with him. They were right on top of him, couldn't do anything. Special teams, they block a punt and they block a field goal. That's all you got to say. They score 7 with it. They score 6 with the special teams and then the extra point, and then they get to two field goals. Robbie Gould, definitely worth what they're paying him in San Francisco. He is gold. That's what he is. Now let's go to today's games. We got the Rams and the Buccaneers. Everybody's making this about the Rams front four. You better make it about the Rams offensive line. They got to score too. They got to score too. And I got a feeling they're going to get to Stafford today. I really do. I think they're going to blitz him. I think they're going to zone blitz. I think they're going to man blitz. I think they're going to zero him. I really do. I think they're going to send 7, 8, 9 guys after Stafford at one time. It's all a matter of two things. Can the Rams run the football, number one? And then number two, can they protect Stafford 2 seconds, 3 seconds so he can get rid of a ball on man coverage? I don't know. White, I don't know if he's back today for the Buccaneers. They could use him, though. They really could in a linebacker core. If he's back, he makes a whale of a difference because remember last Super Bowl, he was the one chasing after Mahomes all Super Bowl long, and he was on his tail like a hound dog. And that Stafford can't run that way. Stafford cannot run. We'll see what happens today. 2.5 points. I'll take the Bucs. I'll give the 2.5. I like your Bucs in this situation. They're at home. They're getting a couple of players back on defense, and they're getting Leonard Fournette back too. Now we don't know how much Fournette can run, and we're not going to count on him running for 150 yards. But if he can run some spot plays, that's what you want. You're not counting on the guy coming in and running for 150 yards. Don't count on that. I doubt it happens. So I'm taking the Bucs in the early game. I've given up the 2.5 points. Late game, 2.5 points for the Chiefs. I'll take that. and I'll take the Bills in this game. I think the Bills win this outright. Um, Three things have got to happen this week for the Bills to win this game. Number one, they got to put pressure on Mahomes. Got to put pressure on Mahomes. What's up, Alex? What's up, Ole? What's up, Sean? What's up, Arnold? You got to put pressure on Mahomes. If you don't, you're not going to beat him. Number two, you've got to cover their tight end, Kelsey. Okay? Put one of your best cover men on Kelsey. Don't put him on Hill. Put him on Kelsey. Okay? Put your best cover man on Kelsey. Hill, double him. Double up Hill. That's fine. But if you're not going to double Hill, you got to shadow 15. You got to shadow Mahomes. That's your choice. If Mahomes is beating you in the air, you got to double up. You got to double up Hill. You got to. But put your best cover man on Kelsey. Okay? If you get him off his game, they're not the same. They're not the same team. Offensive wise. Let's go back on the other side. Don't run the football 15, 20 times a day if you're the quarterback. No. Josh Allen does not need to be running the football. If he's got open lanes and, I don't know, get to the first down mark and walk it, run out of bounds, that's fine. But don't try to go to 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 yards. You're going to get hurt. You don't need that. Number two, if you are the Buffalo Bills, you got to try to run the football early. You're probably not going to be able to, but try. At least, maybe even the first set of downs or two. Don't even try to throw the football. Run the football and see what you can do. See how they're playing you. Now, if they're playing you, a straight 7 in the box, 8 in the box, then you can open up and maybe throw the football. But that's what you want to find out, is if they're going to play 7 in the box on you. It could happen. We'll see. But I like the Bills in this game. I really do. I like it to be a pretty high-scoring game. They're going to have to keep Travis Kelce to a minimum of 3 catches, no more than 3. You got to stop him. If you double him up a little bit, he won't get 5 catches. Then they got to find other people, reserve people, everybody else to catch a ball. I just don't know if they've got the weapons. And you know what? The Bills, their whole entire secondary is really good. So it's not like if you go to their third best or fourth best defensive back, they're still good. So I got a feeling they're going to play some zone against Mahomes today. We'll see. You can't play overall all day zone on him, though. But what time's the first game today? 3:30. 3:30. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Today, Philip and Keith. Philip Reynolds and Keith White both picked the Rams. The rest of us took the Buccaneers. Michael Peterson took the Chiefs. The rest of us took the Bills with the points. Yeah, yesterday's games were good. 2 last-second field goals won the games yesterday. You got to doubt that happens today. They'll probably be a little more scoring in both games today. I'm not sure it'd be in the overs, but still, I think some teams will reach 20 points today, which that didn't even happen yesterday. 19 was the highest scored. We'll see what happens. It could be interesting. I hope you guys have been checking out my Fast Drive Football. We've been playing it. And we are going to get Hockey Blast on the channel very soon. When Aaron Rodgers walking off the field, I was singing, no. Yeah, I don't think he's back. I don't think he'll come back to Green Bay. I don't know where he'll go. A lot of people, a lot of people are saying Vegas, which in all accounts it makes sense, but they've got to get themselves some coaches first. They got to get a GM. They need that in place. They need to get that in place soon. So, you know, um, the family that owns the Raiders, Mark, what's his name? Um, what is it? Who owns it? I think he could still play a couple more years. We'll see. Mark Davis. Mark Davis of the Raiders needs to get his GM and needs to get his head coach in place. Now, do you try to go out and get a big name coach? Maybe New Orleans coach. He's looking to move around. It looks like he may even want to go to Dallas before it's over with. I don't think you take McCarthy if Dallas does fire McCarthy. Rumors have started up in the last 24 hours that they're going to fire McCarthy. We'll see what happens and hire New Orleans coach. I just don't know if that happens or not. That would be a big boom. I understand the defensive coordinator. I think Deshaun Watson stays where he's at, and he's not going to do anything until his trial dates. Rodgers to Cleveland, no. Cleveland's already said they're going to keep Baker Mayfield. But I do think the defensive coordinator from Dallas will go to the Giants. I think he's going to be their next head coach. That's what I think. I can't even think of his name, but I think he will. I think Kellen Moore will probably leave Dallas and go to Jacksonville. You think Rodgers goes to the Steelers? That could happen. And that was one of the teams I said. I said the Steelers, Raiders, or Broncos. I tend to think the Raiders may try to get him. They don't have quite the cap. They got more cap space than most teams. We'll see. The defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, yes. I think he's going to the Giants. I think he'll go to the Giants. He may regret. Who do you think a new Vikings coach would be? Well, that's that's really, really, really interesting because I've heard some wacky names being thrown out there. I've heard Randy Moss's name being thrown. Brian Flores. I think most people think Brian Flores will probably end up in Texas. I think a lot of people think he's going to end up at Texas for the Houston Texans. We'll see. Brian Flores can end up anywhere. He could go to the Bears. It wouldn't surprise me at all. There's a red flag, though, with Brian Flores with me. How do you think Randy Moss would do as a head coach? I think Randy Moss would be a real deal head coach. Now, he's never coached. That's his problem. But Deion Sanders is a great coach, but he's also he can get the players to come play for him. We'd see what Randy Moss could do. There's a lot of possibilities in Minnesota. But it's always this. If you get hired, do you keep your quarterback? I don't know. I would probably go a different direction. I probably would. The quarterback class this year is so slim and so thin. How about Pat McAfee as a coach? No. He's not even a real candidate nowhere. All he is puff. Puff, puff, puff. That's all he's doing, blowing hot air. Yeah, he's Puff the Magic Dragon. And that's all he is. That's all he is all about. He's the same way as the guy on CBS Sports Network. I can't think of his damn name either. He's the same. A lot of those guys are that way. Colin Cowherd, they're all hot wind. That's all they are. Want to hear themselves talk. Some people are serious sports reporters or sports commentators. He's not. Do you think Tony Gonzalez will be a good head coach? Tony Gonzalez probably would be a good head coach, but I don't think he would go just anywhere. I really don't. Reed's probably only got a year or two left. But if he leaves, obviously they can't go without offering by any means the job. That's the good thing about Eric Bieniemy staying at Kansas City. Everybody's saying, well, he ought to be the coach here, here, here. Look, bide your time where you're at as an assistant, and then they almost make it where you can't do anything else but hire that person. And I think Bieniemy could be the next Kansas City head coach. I think it's a good chance after big man leaves. Do you think Drew Brees would ever consider being a head coach in the NFL? I don't know. He actually did a good job broadcasting the other week. If their head coach down in New Orleans left, would Brees go down there and coach? I don't know. It would be a very, very, very cool thing to think about. Same thing with Romo. Romo likes to talk about X's and O's on television. I just don't know if he's a head coach or not. I really don't. He could be a good one too, but he's not a good announcer. Phillip Rivers does not have the attitude. Phillip Rivers is an asshole. Phillip Rivers is not a good attitude guy. All you got to do is go back and watch him. Anytime he was losing, he was a whiner and a crybaby. Phillip Rivers is not what you need. Who are the announcers for the Bucks and Rams game today? Bucks Rams game is NBC. Is that NBC or is that ESPN? I don't want to say NBC. It could be Mike Tirico. It could be Mike Tirico, which would be very, very cool if they are. I know tonight we got Romo back. Romo's going to call the game tonight. So I won't be watching the Bills and Chiefs. No, I can't stand to listen to him talk. Well, Jim, what do you think about it? And I'm learning where he gets that deep voice from. It's from the water in Dallas. Because have you heard Michael Irvin talk lately? Well, I don't know where I get it from, but I got it from somewhere. So Michael Irvin and Romo both talk the same way. Yeah. Ed Orgeron should be an NFL announcer with Romo. Yeah, they would match right up. They may be twins. Ed Romo and Tony Orgeron. Yeah. But that's where he gets it from, I guess, is the water in Texas. So get away from the water in Dallas. Michael Irvin his voices done went so low to, and what do you think about that? No. So like I said, I seriously will not watch tonight's game. I will not watch it just due to that fact. Thank goodness, CBS doesn't have the rights to the Super Bowl this year. It's NBC. So I guess it'd be Tirico and company, which that'd be good. That'd be real good. But I wouldn't watch it. I wouldn't watch it if he was on there. I guess I'll head on. Probably sometime this week. I thought maybe I'd get some guests. Nobody bit there. I sent about 7 or 8 requests out to people, and nobody wanted to be on there. So I'll probably head out. I don't know if I'll be back home today or not. We'll see. We will see. Yeah, probably some of the YRL level 2 race. I got to catch up with some of them, so I got to move some of them up. Then the playoff races, I'll start those up sometime in the next 3 weeks. No big rush. You all have a great, great day. Oh, here comes Dwayne. Dwayne's just catch me when I'm ready to leave.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
What's going on? Yeah, you just catch me. I was just ready to leave, but we'll hang.
All righty.
That's all right. We'll hang around for a couple minutes. Aaron Rodgers, if he goes somewhere, I'm hearing it's all, everybody's telling me, well, the Packers are not going to send him to an NFC team. 3 destinations you think Aaron Rodgers could go to? What do you think if the Packers decide to trade him and he agrees to it?
I think Pittsburgh would take him.
Okay, where else? What's up,
You think
Paulie?
it's
Hey,
you think
guys.
it's in AFC?
I think that's where I think he would go, but
is the 17th easiest hole.
or do you think that's pretty much the only place that he could really go and then I don't know. I think he could turn some programs around to where if they were 500 teams, he could make them win 11, 12 games. I think he could do that.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Paulie, what do you think? If Green Bay decides we will trade you now, you want to be out of here, we're willing to trade you. Number one, would they trade him to an NFC team?
Good question. I definitely think this was good. This was Rodgers' last game in Green Bay.
I agree. I agree. I don't think he's coming back.
He might retire. He might want to move on, and they might find a game show for him because he did good on Jeopardy.
That could happen.
I could see him with an AFC team more than likely.
Yes. I even named 3 AFC teams that I think he could definitely go to. Dwayne named one of those same teams. Where could you see him going to if he was going?
Well, okay, so you'd have to rule out San Francisco because San Francisco's good. They're going to make the Final Four this year at the very least.
Right.
What about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas is one of them I was thinking about. And actually, I think they're I think they make the most sense. They have more cap space than anybody out there, pretty much, and they could release. What's his name, or trade him and maybe get a little bit for him. Their quarterback, what's his name?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Now, Dwayne even brought up Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, obviously, they unloading a ton on Roethlisberger, and I agree. This is a team. Look, they've got some receivers. All they need is maybe one more lineman, and then maybe a tight end, and they would be. They're legit.
Yes.
And I also brought up Denver. Denver has maybe the best defense of all season from last year, and they would have to get a couple of receivers, maybe a running back. TV's up a little loud, guys. I don't know who it is.
That's not me.
That's not me either. I don't even have it.
Okay.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Sorry.
Right. Denver, they would have to go out and get some skill position players, but man, their defense is already there.
Like the Bucks teams of the 70s and 80s, they had a great defense but no offense.
Right, and think about it. The last time Denver won a Super Bowl, remember they had
Manning.
Peyton Manning. He couldn't throw the ball 11 yards down the field. I mean, his arm was jelly, but they didn't have to.
Right.
All they did was run the ball. They handed them, they played trick plays and all, but they really didn't do a lot else. Numbers says Miami. I don't think Miami is ready for it yet. I think Miami's got too many holes. Plus, who knows where they're going to go coach-wise. I'm with Dwayne, though. I think Pittsburgh or Vegas makes the most sense. So we'll see what happens there. But
Could be a Vegas residency for Aaron Rodgers, like Adele or somebody like that.
Yeah. Say I'll make appearances every Sunday, whether you like it or not. All right. Bengals. How about the Titans laying an egg yesterday? Well, number one, this is what I say happens. They had a week off. They had 14 days. And there's only one player we've been talking about with the Titans the last 2 weeks.
Derrick Henry.
That's it.
Right.
Derrick Henry runs the ball for 20 times for 62 yards. I really think some of the players were looking at Derrick Henry thinking, okay, you've carried us all year long. Are you going to carry us now? Third quarter, fourth quarter, it just won't happen. I mean,
Right.
he was not able to run the football. When he got to Stacks, he didn't push. They pushed back on him. If you saw what happened, that he's not healthy.
It looked like they rushed him back.
Yeah, they did. And I think if they would have just depended on the people they had, their crack, their quarterback, their wide receivers, their running backs that they had, and save those 20 carries for somebody more healthy, I think they would have went a lot further. Henry, if you want to come back, if you're 100% in the championship game, more power to you. But we're going to not put you out there yet. That was the number one thing. Number two, Alex says it. Joe Burrow, if they don't protect him, I don't care if it's Buffalo or Kansas City, he's going to be in one of their hospitals next week.
Yeah, 9 sacks.
Nine sacks he got knocked down 15 times. He
Right.
got knocked down 50. You cannot have that happen. You cannot have that happen. If they don't protect him better,
No matter who wins today, Buffalo or Kansas City will feast on him.
They will. That's right. And both teams, you can damn well bet they're going to blitz his ass.
Mhm.
They're not letting him stand up. I wouldn't either. Now, can Joe Mixon come in there and say, guess what? You blitz him all you want to. I'm going to be running through these gaps. I don't know. If Andy Reid wins tonight, he's going to eat 50 cheeseburgers. He'd probably do that either way.
True.
Yeah. But me and the wife last night, when we saw that kick go through the middle of the uprights with the 49ers, we were
very happy about that down here in Tampa.
Me and my wife was too.
So.
I was because I'm not a Rodgers fan anyway.
Me neither.
And his attitude, I think Phillip Rivers was a lot that way. Phillip Rivers was a whiner too.
Yeah.
What's up, Niner Gang? Niner Gang is here. Yeah. So we know now the 49ers and the Bengals are traveling to whoever wins today. You win today, you get to host next week. It doesn't matter which 4 teams.
Right.
Any of these 4 teams get to win. You win, you get to go back home next week and host the game. That's got a lot of extra, maybe not pressure, but that's a whole lot of extra
Motivation.
incentive.
It's
Yeah,
going to amp
motivated.
both teams up,
Yeah, it will.
knowing that whoever wins is going to get the game.
Yep.
So-
Paulie picked the Bucks.
Yes.
I picked the Bucks. Dwayne, we gave up 2.5 points. Who are you liking right now?
It depends on what Stafford shows up.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You see, I definitely think. Do I think Tom Brady gets sacked 4 times today? I do. I
Yes.
think he will. I think they're going to hit him. It's a matter of if he's throwing the football and gets rid of it in bad shape or just takes his sacks. That's one thing Burrow did. Every time they were hitting him, he covered the ball up and fell down. He didn't go fumbling the ball. He didn't go throwing the ball all over hell and back. Now, if you want to talk about somebody that was throwing the ball up in the air and just trying to give away the game, how about Garoppolo?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. He threw the ball cross country 15 times. I'm thinking, oh, my God, how is somebody not picking this off?
And he had a bad shoulder, too.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there, but and they got so many on the injured list. I heard Kittle today is going to get checked for MCL in his knee.
What about Williams?
I have not heard, but they've got a ton of guys. Is Williams a defensive back?
No, that's that tackle they got from Washington.
Oh, Trent Williams. Yeah, Trent Williams. He went in the tent. We never saw him again. I know their defensive back that hit with the lineman. He came back out.
That was Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah, he came back out. Rather play Brady, we own the Rams.
Bucks have never beaten the Rams in a postseason game, but
No.
that was
Who
in
would
an
be a
earlier
better
era.
NFL? Oh, no, that's okay. Rodgers is now 0-3 against the Niners, and it's not 0-4, is it? Is he 0-3, 0-4?
0-4 now. He's 0-3.
Is he
going in.
0-4? Okay,
Yeah.
0-4. Bye weeks, I don't think it so much kills momentum. I don't think it's that so much. I just think that if you come in prepared, I just don't think either one of those teams came in prepared last night. I really don't. Green Bay, I mean, when they ever try to run the football, they never did. They were just throwing the ball around a lot. And then when they did try to run the football, they worked out pretty good for them. And then they just give it up. They just give it up.
They had that great first drive, and then the 49ers just shut them down the rest of the way, save a field goal. And a couple of drives where they missed a field goal. They had that block at the end of the first half. And San Francisco got lucky blocking a punt with about 5 minutes to go, and they got back in that game. So
and it fell right in the open spot of the area where it's 5 Niners at, and all they had to do is pick it up and run 4 yards. That's what's crazy stuff. Bills Chiefs tonight. Now, number one, it's a night game. We know it's going to be a little breezy. Paulie, you picked the Bills.
Yes.
Do you have any trepidation, or do you still think okay, the Bills I think will win this game and win it outright and cover 2.5?
I think 2.5 is not that much for a game of this magnitude. Chiefs should be, it's been so, especially in the AFC, it's been so up and down.
Right.
With all these teams, like we were saying a couple weeks ago, Rob, you could throw a blanket over all 7 teams, and you could just pick one out of a hat, and they might make the Super Bowl. Yeah. No, I could see the Bills winning this game very, very easily.
Yeah. How about it, Dwayne? What do you think?
I like Kansas City at home.
Do you? You see, yeah. I think
Arrowhead's tough.
I like the Bills today too. I'm with Paulie. I just think if they do 2 things. If they do 2 things on defense, number one, you put your best defensive back on Travis Kelce, not on Hill. You put him on Kelce. You put him on Kelce, and you tell him to ride his back all day. Next thing you do is Hill. You have a safety on that side of the field with wherever Hill is. Hill likes to run in the middle of the field anyway, so a lot of times linebackers are able to put a cheap pop to him too. You can't let those 2 guys beat you. That's what I think. Now, having said that, if 15 decides to start going crazy, running all over the field and all, then you're going to have to shadow him, and then you'll have to take the extra guy off a heel. But until that happens, I'm putting my best guy on Travis Kelce, and then on offense, I think the Bills have to try to run the football without trying to have their quarterback run. He cannot be running all day long because he could get hurt. That I realize he's 6'4", 240. Yeah, but he does not need to be running all over that field. He needs to be handing the football off, getting, even if you got to have I formation and have another running back in front of him or lineman in front of him and just making blocks and running 4 and 5 yards. That's fine. They've got to try to run the football, though. I think they got to.
I say
Buffalo's got to play a 2-4 nickel.
What do you say, Paulie?
I said they got to play like a 2-4 nickel and just keep Mahomes in check. Yeah.
And what you say, Dwayne?
I say Kansas City, if they can run the ball against Buffalo. I mean, look what the Patriots did to them. I mean,
yeah, I just don't know if anybody's going to run against that Buffalo team like some of these other teams have run. What do you think, Paulie? Do you think Kansas City's going to go out there and run for 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a chunk? I don't.
Well, I think it's going to be a slugfest. I think it's going to be a game where running is going to be hard to come by, but I think the team that executes their runs better is going to win.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be a little breezy out there, so I don't think you're going to be throwing the ball 40, 50, and 60 yards. But if you can, Josh Allen can throw it 70 yards. We know that, and we know as well. Mahomes can put it up 50 yards. I don't think he's got quite the arm that Allen does, but that doesn't matter. He's accurate as everything. Which quarterback will throw for the most yards today? Tom Brady. Tom Brady, because
Brady all the way.
Yeah, because they're not going to run a football.
Rams are not strong at the safety position, so that's why I was saying Tuesday. Give it to Gronk.
And you're not, and I'll tell you something else. They're not going to run. They probably won't run the ball 50 yards the whole game.
They got Fournette coming back, but again, that's another question of Fournette not maybe being 100%.
Fournette coming back is just like a situation we were talking about 10 minutes ago when we were talking about bringing
Travis Henry back. Yeah.
Travis Henry back. You don't know what you're getting there. You cannot go to your calculator and say, well, that's 70, that's 25 carries. You can't do that. When you're getting somebody back from injury, chances are, if they're averaging, let's say he averages 22 carries a game, chances are if you get half of that out of him today, you're lucky. You're lucky. I wouldn't even expect him to carry the ball 11 times today. I really wouldn't. Which defense today will get the most sacks? Rams. They'll probably get 4 or 5. And that's the thing. Tom is going to have to hold the ball just like Burrow did yesterday. Take your sack, take your punt, and go with it. But I'll tell you something else, too. I don't think Stafford's going to stand back there like a statue, and then I don't think they're going to let him just stand back here. I think they're going to. I think they're going to come after him, and we're going to see what Stafford can do running out of the pocket and all. You don't see what he can do very often doing that, but I think they're going to have to do it. Aaron Rodgers, one of his buddies is Pat McAfee. Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely think. See, Kansas City to me is not the same Kansas City they were 2 years ago.
Correct.
To me, they're not.
That's very true.
Their offensive line is not the same. And it's all about the Buffalo Bill defensive line. If they're able to get in there and get to 15 today, that changes everything. Especially if they can get in there with 3 and 4 men and don't have to go in there and blitz. If they can get in there just look back at the Super Bowl last year. Look at what Tampa did.
Right.
Generally, they had 3 down linemen, and they blitzed the linebacker, and you just didn't know which one they were going to blitz, whether it was going to be White or the guy on the other side. That's all they got to do. If they play 3 down linemen and be like, guess what? We got 4 linebackers here all ready to come light on you, but you just don't know which one we're going to send. The linemen don't know which way to go because, they don't know who you're going to send if you don't show it. You just show a basic package and send somebody. I don't think you go sending safeties and corners too much because I think you can get burned too often doing that because if you play in the 3-4-4 or 3-3-5, and a lot of times they'll play the 3-3-5. And with 5 defensive backs, you can't afford to send those fast defensive backs. You got to have them covering somebody pretty much the whole game because Kansas City, they're for real. They're like a snake, and if they bite you one time, they're not too good to bite you again and then score. Like I said, the other night I was watching the Steelers. It was 7-7 after T.J. Watt scored. It made it 7-0, then it was 7-7. I turned it off for a few minutes. I turned it back on a little later. It's 35-7. I'm like, and that's what they're capable of. They're capable of adding points. Buffalo can too, but Buffalo's not as educated at doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're not as used to doing it as Kansas City.
As they say in boxing, punches and bunches.
Yeah. If it gets to be a 40-something game, it's got to be advantage Kansas City, I think. I think the Bills have got to keep this thing in the 20s, maybe low 30s. But I think if it starts going, just running up and down the field, 48, 55-second drives, that kind of garbage, it's going to be advantage Kansas City. What do you think, Paulie?
I tend to agree with you, Rob. I think your analysis of that game was perfect. I think you might see a shootout with the Bucs and the Rams today because they are 2 teams that the Bucs played their best defense last week against the Eagles, but most of the year they had not gelled like they did last year in the playoffs. So I could see the Bucs-Eagles game. That's why I took the over because I could see that game going into the 30s rather easily.
Dwayne, whoever wins the Chiefs-Bills will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Yes or no?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yeah.
You both think that. Okay. So nobody thinks that Cincinnati can carry over from yesterday, get one extra day off. That's all they get is one extra day off and find a way to protect Burrow and win the ball game in Buffalo or in Kansas City. I tend to agree with you there. I really do tend to agree with you there. Let me ask you this. Let's say the 49ers go to the Rams or go to Tampa. Are they capable of winning, Dwayne? Are the 49ers capable of beating either one of those 2 teams?
Oh, yeah. with that defense getting
Paulie?
pressure.
Paulie, what do you think?
Total agreement. Even if it's 49ers in Tampa Bay, it's going to be a tough game for the Bucs. And
Right.
the 49ers just beat the Rams to end the regular season, so they could do that again easy.
Let me ask you guys this. What do you see as the biggest weakness right now for the 49ers, Paulie?
Injuries just in general.
I'm talking
Quarterback
about
position would be,
Yeah,
would be right up there.
I was going to say that too. I mean, just one position. Quarterback right now, I think he may be the worst quarterback still left in the playoffs. That's just not showing anything. What do you think, Dwayne?
Oh, agreed. Especially with that thumb and shoulder injury.
Yeah, I mean, hell, Burrow outplays him. I think Brady and I think Stafford will outplay him, and I definitely think Mahomes and Allen will outplay him. That's one thing he cannot afford next week, wherever he goes. He cannot afford to shorten the field down to where you don't have their safeties back 15, 20 yards. They start coming in 8 and 10 yards, and they're like, okay, we smell blood. We're coming after your ass, and guess what? We're not letting you go. Because right now, he really didn't throw the ball down the field but one time yesterday, and it didn't look like it felt good when he did it. Yeah. So I just think to me, this is just my thinking. I think the Bengals have a better chance to get to the Super Bowl just due to the fact their quarterback is tough as nails. Now I understand he's one hit away from going to the hospital, but he took 15 hits yesterday. He got up and at the end of the game was cheering. Garoppolo, really, what did he do to help win that game yesterday? He didn't do a hell of a lot.
2 or 3 times they got deep into Packer territory and he choked.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He cannot do that, and that's my worry. If they go down to Tampa, that he comes up and shows up and lays an egg like that. Now, okay, does cold weather play a part? I'm sure it does. I mean, he looked like Guido from one of the Pawn Stars last night after the game. Did you see him? Had his chains around his neck and shit. I'm like, all right, dude, you were just too funny now. Looked like a guy from Jersey or something. It was funny as shit. But you could tell he didn't want to have nothing to do with going back outside there. He was ready to, like, okay, whenever you want to have a taxi come pick me up, take me to the airport and get me the hell away from here. So, as much as Rodgers has played up in Green Bay and played for the fans and all, I'm not sure they're going to have an easy time replacing him. When you watch the game and you see it's 5 below and shit like that in the playoffs, I mean, that can affect your hands, your knuckles, your knees for the rest of your life when you go out there and stay out there for 4 and 5 hours. I don't care if you are 35 years old. It can mess you up. My dad was in the service and was in Germany and said they spent 48 hours outside and said it was like 19 degrees. Now, I realize 48 hours and 4 hours is totally different, but he came back with real bad, what do you call it, where you can't bend? You can't move your back and all. Arthritis. He had real bad arthritis, and he still has it 50 years later. 60 years later. And
the Ice Bowl, the players that played in the Ice Bowl in 1967 had long-lasting injuries, if not lifetime injuries from that. They were playing that game in 15 below weather, the Cowboys and the Packers.
Yeah. I saw after the season is over with Deebo Samuel and the 49ers are going to work out a huge extension.
Oh, Samuel's a stud. I was very impressed by him last night.
Yeah. The ball is slippery too. You're right, John. You're exactly right.
There was a big difference when he got that chest injury for a while.
It was. You could tell. I believe it just simply knocked the wind out of him. And if you have ever had, I have had that happen. If either one of you guys ever had the wind just simply knocked out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've had it. And I'll tell you one thing. It feels like, it's what it feels like. It feels like somebody put like a 800-pound weight right on your stomach or chest, and you just can't move. You're laying there, and you're catching every puff of wind or anything you can catch. and just hoping nobody, you're hoping bugs are not going to eat your ass up before you wake up and get the hell up off the field. But I've had it happen to me, and I was young when it happened, and it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary deal because you don't know what's happened to yourself, but you realize somebody hit you exactly in the place that you're catching all your air from, and you just can't catch any air. And I think that's what happened to him. I think when he went to the sideline, you could see him sitting on a bench there doing that shit. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, take five. You do not need to be back in that game until your eyes cross and shit, and you water and start doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell yeah, it hurts. It hurts. So, yeah, get right in your head before you think, I got this. Get right in your head before you think about going back out there, because guess what? It can cost you your future, plus it can cost the team as well. So many times. And that's the one thing I like about this new rule, when they get hit in the head and have to go get checked out and all with the head injuries.
Going to the tent, you mean?
Yeah.
The blue tent.
What do you call it? When there's head injuries.
Concussion protocol.
Concussion.
Yeah. Now, do I think all teams follow it probably the way they should? Probably not, because for names or certain names, I think probably they try to squeeze them through if it can. I don't think the league I think the league tries to slow all that shit down. I don't know how well they do, but I think it's better than it was 25 years ago.
Well, it's an outside agency that runs that. It's not the team doctors.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And they run it inside the tent.
That, and then they take you back to the locker room if they think you didn't pass what was inside the tent. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
I think Microsoft has something to do with that, guys. From the commercials they used to run a couple of years back.
Oh, okay. So, final scores today, Paulie.
Okay.
Rams and Bucks. First off, you told me you think they're going to go over 48.5. So you think this is going to be a shootout?
The weather is going to be perfect for this game. Very little wind. I'm looking outside here in Seminole right now. I'm about 20 miles west of the stadium. I think it's going to be just absolutely perfect. Weather's going to be in the upper 50s.
What's the temperature now? What's the temperature right there where you're at right now?
It's got to be like about right around 60. I'll put my Weather Channel app up, and I'll know.
Might be on the bottom of your computer if you look at the bottom of your screen right there.
Not on mine. Only 51. It's only 51 for us. That's a little chilly.
But but that's
perfect weather.
Perfect football weather. So
we're going to go Bucks 42-35.
42-35. So you are expecting a big one.
Yes.
Dwayne, what are you thinking?
34-31.
And who wins?
Rams.
All right. I'm gonna say it goes a little less than that. I think both teams are gonna stop each other some. I just get the feeling there's going to be an injury in this game. I don't know why, because I just think both teams are so healthy right now. Somebody's going to hit somebody. I don't know how that's going to work. I'm going to say 31-21. I still think it's an over, but I'm going to say 31-21, and the Bucks win. Now, the second game, Dwayne, Bills and Chiefs. You're saying that you're going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. So he likes one road team and not the other. What do you think? It's a 53.5 tonight. So not a lot of people went over with this, but it could. So what do you think the score will be? Chiefs and Bills.
28-24.
28-24. That would be an under there. Paulie, you played under on this one too.
Yeah, because I think the weather conditions, when it's fewer degrees, there's usually fewer points, as we saw yesterday. I'm going to go 20-18 Bills.
20-18. Okay. I went under, but I tell you what, I almost wish I wouldn't have. I think this is going to come down to a last-second field goal. I just think both teams are that good. I really do. I'm going to say 31-30. The Bills win. I just think that there's enough tape out there now on Mahomes. I think that's been some of the problem, that over the first couple of years, people just didn't have nothing to go by. Now you can see what he likes to do when you pressure him, and he does not like to run straight ahead. He likes to turn backwards. I don't know why. That somebody taught him that, I guess, but you always notice that if you pressure him and he sees two guys coming at him, he turns back toward the wrong end zone. Now, he runs his ass off and he tries hard as everything, and he's always trying to find a way to throw the football. But when you got somebody running the opposite way of the line of scrimmage, not many good things can happen for the offense, because if you throw the football, it could be, grounded. You could throw it up and have it intercepted, or you could fumble it, or simply get sacked 20 yards back here behind the line of scrimmage. So I'm interested in seeing how many times today Buffalo gets him. I call it kind of like the mousetrap. And it's like, okay, are they going to, is he just going to take his sack, lose 8 yards, and say that's the end of that? If it is, that's not a problem. But when he starts running backwards, that's when he can get some deep shit. And I think it could be problems for him before it's over with. We'll see. I think that one could definitely be a field goal game. I think the Buccaneers, I think they will spread their wings. I think they'll win by 10 today. We'll see what Fournette do, but it doesn't matter. Fournette is not the biggest weapon. They got Evans is who they got to have.
8 consecutive years to start his career with 1,000 or more receiving yards, which has never been done before.
Who, Evans?
Yes.
They got to have him show up, and they got to have Gronk. And then Brate, is he the other tight end? I think his name's Brate.
Number 2, yeah. Cameron Brate, yes.
Yeah, he's got to catch 5 or 6 passes. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot of different places today, because Tom realizes they're not going to have a running game. Is he going to be able to throw for 300, 325, 340? I think so. We'll see, but I also think that they're going to hit him a few times, and we got to see how 44-year-old body adjusts to getting hit.
Oh, the Rams have got to stop him on first down, put him in second and third and long, and then they'll eat him up.
Yeah, well, the fact is,
he gets 4 or 5 yards in first down, then he'll just articulate the ball as old Hank Strand says down.
I don't think you're going to see Tampa try to run the football on first much. I think they'll try to run on second. If they got like 2nd and 4 or something, you may see them try to run the football some then. But I don't think first down's down for Tampa to be running the football. They need to get the ball down the field somewhere between the sticks there and just give themselves a legit second down chance. If they run a football, I think they're going to have 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, and then they're at the mercy of the Rams. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You cannot do that. They've got to throw first down and then
throw quickly.
Yes, and have the option on second down to where if we want to, we can spread the field out with 4 wides and still run the football with just 5-on-5. Helmets.
Yeah, I think the Rams ought to play tight on first down. I'd bring Ramsey and them up. I'd dare you go deep on first down on me.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's going to try to go deep. What do you think, Paulie?
No, I think they got to do a lot of quick and short passing. I think
so too.
The longer you hold it, you're just inviting danger.
Second down is where he can go deep.
Yes.
If you're 2nd and 4, you can afford to try to go
2nd and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Then because that's a waste down. You could throw it away.
It's a down to where if you don't get it nobody receives it, you still got a legit chance of making your first down on 3rd down.
On 3rd, yeah.
Yes, but first down is not the down to be throwing it, and that's where I think personally, if I were the Rams, I would be playing a zone on first down and be like, okay, guess what? You're going to have to pick your places out to throw the football, or we're going to have to pick it off from you. Now, Dwayne said he'd play tight. I think if you play tight and there's a lot of crossing patterns going on, I think that's where they can burn you. Just get 6-8 yards with Evans or whoever that's doing the crossing patterns.
But if Ramsey and them can knock you off the route, then what? Then he's going to have to pull the ball down, and that line might be able to get to him.
Yeah, we'll see. I just wouldn't play. I wouldn't play a tight man on first down. I wouldn't. Now, second down is where I would play my tight man and be like, okay, look, let's see what you're going to do now. But it's all according to what they can do on first down. If they don't have first down success, they probably don't win this game. If they do, we'll see what happens. Tom Brady now had a report come out 10:48 this morning stating this could possibly be his last year. Now, okay, we've heard it the last 3 years. Is this a motivational factor for his team to realize, guess what? This might be my last chance with Tom to do anything, or do you guys think it's legit, Paul?
I could see him retiring if they win the Super Bowl this year, but I think it's lazy reporting by ESPN. I saw that same piece. It was on Drudge. It kind of reminds me of what they did with the last president.
I saw it on NFL Network. I saw it on NFL Network.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, what do you think? Do you think this is like I want to light a fire under my teammates, or do you think, okay, I think he's really going to quit?
No, I don't think he's going to quit. I think he's still enjoying the game too much.
Yeah, 44 years old and gets around the field really, really well. I mean, who has it better? Who has a lot? Now he's one hit away from hell. Remember what year was that? 03, 02, 04? Remember when the guy came in and on his leg? He was out for the rest of the
first game of the season.
That was 07.
07. Okay. And and he's one hit away from having that shit happen to him, where he's going to be
I take it back. It's 08.
Okay.
It was 08, okay? Because I was watching that on a stream.
And he was out for a year, and, we always wondered okay, was that the last time we're going to see Tom Brady? And then he came back in next year, and it's like, shit, man. This is one guy's 44 years old, yes, but he's not a 44-year-old body. He's a 36, 38-year-old body compared to – I think I would say this. I would venture to even say this. I would say he's probably in as good a shape or better shape than Aaron Rodgers. I really believe that because he's such a nutritionist, crazy man. He gets out and runs. Now I know he can't go out here and run a 4.240. We know that shit. He can't do it. But he couldn't do that shit when he came out of college. He was 22. He couldn't do it. But you tell me. How much has he declined since his rookie year? And I don't think decline is the way. I think he's moved. I think he's better now than he was when he was 25 years old. That's just me.
He's gotten better with age, if anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And hell, all right, and let's say it this way. Let's say Tom Brady said, I'll play 2 more years. How many teams do you think would put their name in the hat and say, okay, we'd like you here? Compared to Rodgers. Let me ask you that one. How about that one? Both of them say they're going to play 2 more years. Both of them say, I'm just going to play 2 more years. How many teams would have an interest in having Tom Brady? Would as many as 10?
I think they take Tom because of his attitude compared to Rodgers.
Would as many as 10 teams out there say, Tom Brady, here's a contract for you? Yes or no?
All 32.
Yeah, it ain't many teams. The Cowboys might not. Cincinnati might not. Buffalo might not. Kansas City might not. I mean, if you're the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, would you actually? I would give him his chance. I really would. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, you're crazy, Rob."
I don't think they would. I mean, I agree with your thinking, but I don't think they would.
They might not. You don't think they would offer anything?
No,
probably not. But
I don't think they can afford both of them.
No, you're probably right.
Probably not.
But we also know if there is a bargain bin quarterback out there, it's Tom Brady, because he's always taking the pay cut to bring on the extra receiver, to bring on the extra tight end, to bring on the extra lineman, to take care of him. He's not a dumbass by any stretch. His wife's the one making hundreds of millions of dollars doing the modeling and shit. He realizes he wants to walk off the field when he's done. He does not want to crawl off the damn field. And that plays a big part, man, when you see that somebody's willing to take a pay cut. And, you know, both Mannings, you interview them now, they'll both tell you, my dad told us never take a pay cut. Never. And Brady's just not of that thinking, man. He's of a different cloth. Totally. I mean, you know, he just, and like Dwayne said, one of y'all said something about he got the right attitude. He's got a better attitude. Yeah.
Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wouldn't see it? I mean, Rodgers looks like a lot of times when the world is giving him everything, looks like he's pissed off at the world. Where Tom Brady, how often do you see Tom Brady? You might see Tom Brady get mad at a teammate once in a while, grab him by the mask and say, hey, you know, you got to wake the hell up and do what you got to. But you see him every time. When they walk off that field, he never sits on that damn bench without having that tablet in his hand or talking to a coach side by side with him. He's got somebody with him right there that he's talking about. This is what I did just now. Let's see what I can do better. And all these quarterbacks don't do that. They don't.
Just look at in New England when that was falling apart. You couldn't tell.
No.
You didn't have any idea he was going to leave up there.
Nope. And you can say what you want to, but I don't think Belichick and him got along real well.
No,
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah, I think things like Bradshaw and Noel, they both knew they needed each other.
Yeah, but Belichick has never said nothing bad about Brady, and Brady's never said anything bad about Belichick. Now, 10 years from now, we'll probably hear it all.
True.
We'll probably hear it all. You know, that asshole, you wouldn't believe who he was when he come in here. But they needed each other at the times that they were together. You tell me what you want to tell me.
Well, I think he got under the doghouse when they got rid of Garoppolo. I think that was Tom's doing, and I think that pissed him off. I think that's when they started splitting.
Yeah, because Kraft decided, okay, Garoppolo, you're gone because we're going to keep Tom.
I think he took Brady's side there, and I think that pissed him off.
Yeah, and Kraft never talked bad about Tom Brady. That's one thing I'll say to this day. Kraft hung with Brady, and that's a person I felt bad for more than I did Belichick. Is that he up and just left Kraft because I think Kraft felt like he was his son. I really do. Kraft done everything he could for Tom, and I didn't really know a lot about Bob Kraft until they won a Super Bowl. Then I read up some stuff about him. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think he's such a bad owner to work for. If you want, I think you could do worse. That's for damn sure. But
probably not in Jerry Jones's league in terms of being evil.
Yeah. Tom Brady. However way he found out what that. But you got to know this much too. How many teams do you think backslide to talk to Tom Brady? Like, we're Pittsburgh. Tomlin says, TJ, aren't you good friends with Brady? Well, I have went fishing with him before. You could slide him a text and let him know. Yeah, we kind of. I'll bet you, when people started sensing that there was going to be problems up in New England, I bet he got texts from every team out there, some kind of way, whether it was a player, whether it was a coach, whether it was something, just to say, hey, we're here if you want to talk to us. That kind of shit. And
I think that goes on all the time.
Oh, I think it does too. And that's kind of against the rules, but kind of not against the rules. It's like, okay, he's a friend, so he can do what he wants to.
Well, how do you enforce it? It's the era of networking we live in with social media now, all that. It's a totally different world 20 years ago.
Yep. No way you can. And that's just the same way with NBA. Mm-hmm. I want him on my team. 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 That's what they do. LeBron goes to him and says, hey, don't you want to be on my team? And they do. They don't win so much.
True.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing about it. That's a good thing. I'm kind of glad that happens, but that's what happens. 1:30 here on the East Coast, guys. Big Paulie, Dwayne. My name's Rob. I think we're going to head out now. I am going to go see what I can go get into. Maybe eat some lunch. I haven't even eaten lunch yet. I like the Bucks. I like the Bills. Paulie says he likes the Bucks. He likes the Bills. Dwayne has said flip the page, boys. He likes the Rams. He likes the Chiefs. It would be something if all 4 road teams won. How about that shit? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I don't think it happens. I think the Bucks and Chiefs both are too good for that. I think one of them will stop it, but we'll see what happens. 3:00 on NBC, yes,
and CBS, respectively.
Yeah, well, you got Romo tonight, so sadly, yeah, I will not watch that one. So I'm glad we don't. I'm glad that one's. I'd rather watch a Bucks game anyway. So we'll see what happens. But Bills and Chiefs should be a hammer down game. So you all have a great night. The rest of your day. I might be back on later. We'll see what happens.
Have a good one, Rob.
Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.
Night, Jim.